students. My name is Melissa Colon, and I'm the Distance Education Coordinator here at Columbia College. I'm going to show you how to access your online class and be a successful online student. I'm going to take you through some tools, tricks, and techniques that will help you feel confident in the online learning environment. Let's get started. We're on the Columbia College homepage right now. You can access the Columbia College homepage by typing gocolumbia.edu in one of your favorite browser's text box. I'm going to show you two ways that you can actually find the Blackboard login. If you selected Students on the left, you'll notice that on the menu to the left, you have the Blackboard login. I also want you to know that at the top, under My Columbia, if you click the link, it's also going to provide you with the menu to the left with the Blackboard login. And I want you to see there's more. If you scroll down just a bit, you'll notice there's the Blackboard login, but there's also Blackboard resources. There's some information that you might want to know more about. For example, the list of classes that are offered every semester. There's some other student resources. If you click here, scroll down, check some of the information out. There's also some need-to-know technology skills that you might need to practice and check out before becoming an online student. We have a link that tells you about the face-to-face and our virtual orientations. For the quick guide for Blackboard 1, it's in a PDF format. We have student tutorials, and as you notice as we scroll down, there's many other helpful resources for you to become a successful online student. Okay, I'm going to scroll up to the top of the resource page. There is also a link to go directly to the Blackboard login right at the top. Here's our Blackboard login page. And before we actually log in, I want you to check out some of the resources and links that are available. For example, all the Columbia College links are on the right, and all the MJC links are on the left-hand side. We also have what's called a Blackboard browser compatibility check. When you click on this link, and I encourage you to do this, for example, if you happen to be working at home, you're going to want to run this compatibility check, and you're going to want to run it at school or in the library. You can click on that link, Tips and Tricks, and it's going to take you to a page where not only will there be some information about the supported browsers, but also some plugins that you can download and some how-tos. For example, disable your pop-up blocker, how to clear your cache, and more importantly, where to download the Java runtime environment. Some of these tools are going to be really important to run in your classroom. For example, the Java runtime environment is important for chat rooms and tests and other content areas. Make sure that you check some of these are working. Another example is your pop-up blocker. Please disable your pop-up blocker because a lot of things in Blackboard might pop up, like a new window, an assessment, and if you have your pop-up blocker, it's not going to appear for you. And I'm just going to close this page right now and get back to the login page. Another really important feature here on this login page is the information about the help desk. If you're not sure what's going on and you're having problems no matter what you do, please email or call the help desk. I'm also going to give you my phone number at the end and my email, so you can always call me and leave a message. If you want to try out being an online student before you actually go into your class, you can be a demo student in our demo course. And you can actually practice and try some of the activities. So just log in as demo and scroll down to where the course list appears. Click on the demo course and notice you're in Blackboard. And you can check all the different types of activities out. For example, there's discussions. You can look at an online glossary. You can find out if you're ready for an online class. And more importantly, you can check out the Tech Skills module. This is some basic technology skills. And there are how-tos. And then there's a Try Me. I'd like to emphasize that it is important if you need to practice some of the basic technology skills that are needed to be in an online learning environment. For example, copy and paste skills are important, saving documents as RTFs or different file formats, how to download a file, how to attach a file. All these types of technology skills are important for you in the online learning environment. Okay, we're ready to go to a live online class. So I'm going to log out here and I'm going to take you back to the Blackboard login page. Now, as a student, you're going to be using your W number with the lowercase w, and you're going to be logging in with the 6-digit birth date, month, day, and year, just like this example here, for your password. If you're already an online student, then you'll be using the password that you have changed it to. After you log in with your student ID or W number, you will come to the entry page for Blackboard. You'll notice that there's a lot of different modules and panels. Make sure to take some time to check these out. For example, messages from your courses might be displaying. You will have some tools that you can use, and there's lots of different things going on with announcements that are available for you. Before we actually go into the class, I'm going to take you up to the very top right to the Global Navigation menu. This is going to be a very helpful to find out information that's going on in your class. For example, you'll want to get started by uploading an image of yourself. This image or picture will be very important in some of the communication tools that you encounter, such as the threaded discussions, the blogs, the wikis, the journals. This way, you will be able to see your fellow classmates and instructor as you participate in building a community. Another item that you're going to want to pay attention to is the privacy options on the very right-hand side. So make sure that you look these over and learn more about the profile privacy settings if you need to. Once you're ready, submit, and you'll see a little tiny avatar or image in this corner of the Open Global Navigation menu. But I want to take you back because there's other portions of this menu that are going to be very helpful. For example, the Blackboard Home can give you an overview of the items that are due and recently graded. You can move your mouse over to reveal some of your grades, and it reveals the most recent activities that might be relevant to you. The next thing I want to show you is posts. If you click on this icon, if you have been participating in threaded discussions and blogs, journals, and wikis, you'll see the posts from these particular communication tools. You'll be able to reply to your fellow classmates as well from here, or you'll be able to go into your individual classroom and do the replying. The next is updates. The updates reviews a list of notifications that alerts you to important information, events, and items that are going on in your class. Then we have My Grades. You can view your grades for each of your classes, for assignments, your tests, your activities. You can sort the grades by date or course. Then we have our calendar. This is very helpful because it can help you review everything you have due. And then we have this People Learning Network area on the Global Navigation. This provides your social community. This is dependent upon how you set your privacy profile. So make sure you look into that and you find out more about it. Okay, before we move on, I do want to show you some other items here on the Global Navigation menu. You can actually collapse and expand these areas right here for courses. Also, I want you to notice settings. Here you can change your text size if you needed to make your text larger. You can also come back here and do a high contrast setting. Then your personal information, this is where you can change your password. Remember, you started off with your 6-digit birth date, but you can also change your password here. Then some personal settings, some privacy options. Again, make sure you check these areas out. Edit notification settings. This is important to know. You can define your general notification settings for your email format and reminder schedule for your courses, your individual courses, or as a bulk notification, global, all the classes, for example, that you might be taking. So this is something that you might want to check out. This will provide some information. You can actually get some text messages sent to you if you have that checked and if your instructor uses announcements. So be sure you check that out and then submit once you make some changes. Back to the global navigation menu, notifications dashboard. You can come back to where you logged into Blackboard. This is the same entry page that we first started off with. You can actually click on My Blackboard and it will take you to the same place. Okay, I think we're ready to enter a classroom. The class that I'd like to go into is our Spanish 1A. I'd like you to notice something before we actually click on the course. If we clicked on this link of the course name, it will take us into the course itself. I also want you to notice that right here is a link. It is an announcement. It is perfectly acceptable to click on the announcement and it will take you into more information about the announcements. I also want you to know that you're not actually in the class when you click on the announcement. Notice that the announcements are here, but when you're done reading that, you need to click back into My Blackboard, or again, you can navigate using the global navigation menu, and you're going to have to click on the course itself to enter, like this. Once you click on the course name, you're now actually getting into the course. If you click on the announcement link, you would just be entering the announcement tool area. Now I want you to notice something. I am in the announcements again. That's because this particular instructor who teaches this class has the point of entry for her class as the announcements. It's not going to be that way in every online class. For example, your instructor might have the point of entry as the notifications dashboard. Don't get confused. Just make sure you look around and pay attention to where you're at. This is only a notifications dashboard for this particular class. The point being that every online class may be different. Some instructors have their class open up at the announcements, some the dashboard notifications, the modules. Some might have them open up in a content area called Start Here. The good news, you should see some directions from your instructor on what to do next. Now it's pretty easy in this particular class because as you see on the left hand panel, this is the menu and it's big bright buttons. Sometimes you're not going to see that in a class. You might see just text, but you will see a description of what that area happens to be. As I move my mouse over these areas, a little pop-up text tip is going to appear. One of the first things that you're going to want to do is make sure you click around and get familiar with the online class. I can't tell you how many times I help students and I ask them, have you checked your classroom out? Have you clicked on things? You're not going to harm it in any way. Get familiar, click around, check things out. In most of the online classes that you take, you're going to have something called Start Here, Getting Started. This is going to be a module or a folder filled with beginning activities, your syllabus. In this particular class, you can see there's a learning module overview, Getting Started. There's even dates on when these items will appear and how long this particular module might be open. I also want you to notice this is what's considered a learning module. That means that over here you have a table of contents, so you can actually click through out of sequence to some items. I also want you to notice that you have a little nav bar over here where you can actually go through each page sequentially. Scroll down, make sure you see everything that's in these particular modules. You have two different ways to go through the materials. It will be important to know that in most online classes that have a Start Here or Getting Started Learning module also want you to work on week one's activities concurrently. For an example, this particular course has weekly learning modules as well as the Start Here First. Now, very nicely, this instructor has linked the Getting Started Learning module in this content area and also included week one. On the outside of the learning module, you'll see an overview of basically the different types of activities that are going to be required. It won't be until you click on the link to enter the learning module that you'll see all the activities and you'll be able to click through each one, participate. It might be a threaded discussion, it might be downloading a file, uploading a filled out document, maybe an assessment. In this particular case, this is the week one's learning module materials. Okay, I think we're just about ready to explore some of the communication tools in Blackboard. For example, if you look on the left-hand side, there's something called discussions. And then it looks like this particular instructor has journals. And then if we come down here, we see other communication tools such as the course mail and the Blackboard instant messaging. Some of these tools will be common to many online classes. Some of the other online instructors might use a blog rather than a threaded discussion, or might use a journal. I would like to share with you right now how to use the discussion forums. This is probably one of the most common communication tools to build community in your online class. We're going to click on the discussions button, and notice as we're looking at these questions, you'll see there's a particular forum topic and then the description. This particular class has technical issues, a forum where you can ask questions about navigating around in Blackboard or the publisher's content in this case. There's also a Q&A forum if you want to post any questions about the course material. Now, if we come down here, we'll notice there's additional forums. One of the first forums you will most likely see in an online class is the introduction. This is where you build that sense of community, you get to know your instructor, you get to know your fellow classmates, and you tell a little bit about yourself. Now, in this particular class, you are requested to upload your avatar photo. That was where we came up here to the top in the Open Global Navigation menu and you uploaded a picture. Okay, so I'm going to click in this particular discussion forum to introduce myself. Now, when I get in there, and if I'm the first person, there isn't going to be anything necessarily that you're going to be able to see. The prompt, the description has actually disappeared until you click on Create Thread. Now, you may want to check on the grading information. Your instructor may provide some information. And I want you to notice I'm using breadcrumbs. This is what Blackboard calls this when there's links. And I want to go back to that forum, so I'm going to use the link to go back. Blackboard recommends, and it's a strong recommendation because you might get a page error, that you don't use the back button up here at the top in your browser, that you use the breadcrumbs and then you use the links. Going back to the forum discussion, I'm going to click on Create Thread, and now my prompt or my description of what I'm supposed to be writing about will appear. And I can look at it and then I can answer some of the questions. Whenever you see an asterisk, this means that it is required. So I'm just going to write something in the text box. That's the subject text box. And then I could come down here and I could start typing in this area. When I'm done answering the questions, I could even have an attachment, but I want to come down here and submit this. So I'm just going to write something very quickly. And then I'm going to submit because I want you to see what this looks like. I also have another recommendation. If you're going to be writing a lengthy post, I would write it offline, meaning open up your Word document, copy and paste into that Word document your description. Now you're working offline, and that way, if for some reason something happens to your internet connection, something happens to Blackboard, it times out after you've been on there for a couple of hours, you still have record of that forum post that you've been working on, and you can save that, and then when you're done you can copy and paste it back to that area. That's one of the reasons why the technology skills of copy and paste is very important to have in an online environment. I do want you to see what's happened once I submitted my post. You see my picture or avatar, and you can just move your mouse slowly over it and it will pop up, and there might be some more information about your fellow classmates. Now, if I wanted to read this, if I was a student coming in for the first time and wanting to read it, I'm going to click on this link and I will be able to read the post. And then if I want to reply to that person, I can click on reply. Now, your instructor for this class that you're in is going to provide maybe a way to subscribe to all your posts, maybe quote, maybe to edit. Sometimes you won't have all the same options. So make sure you understand what it is, first of all, that your instructor is asking you to do, and then make sure that you have some of those options. You might have some grading information. You might have edit opportunities. Once you post, you can go back and edit your post. If you just move your mouse over the button, say you read a post and you want to mark it unread, you can click on this little checkbox, go to the thread actions, and say, I want this unread because I want to save it for later. If you have multiple posts here, you can collect it. I'm just going to select that, and if I click on the button collect, all of the posts in that particular forum are going to open up. In this case, there's only one, mine. But if you had, say, 10 or 12, as many as there are, they're going to open up in this particular format. It may take you a little bit of time to get familiar navigating, clicking around your threaded discussions. There's tree view, there's list view. There's so many different aspects to this particular discussion board that it may just take some time to be familiar with it. The power in this is that you build community and you get to articulate and discuss things outside of the classroom, pertinent to your content, to maybe a question your instructor has. Really take time to learn these communication tools, whatever it may be. I want to say and reinforce the fact that not all online classes have the same tools. Some of them will be very similar. The sooner you get into your online environment and click around and get familiar, download, print documents out, the more comfortable you'll be. I would like to discuss another aspect of the online class that is very important, and that is the grade book. In this particular class, the instructor has named the gradebook My Grades. Clicking on My Grades will take you to the area where all the current grades information will be listed, as well as your points. There will be some descriptions, There could be rubrics or grading criteria for some of the activities. This is a place to check frequently and often, keeping an eye out for what's due, what will be coming up in the future, and to know exactly where you stand in the class. With that, I'd like to conclude and say thank you very much for viewing this tour. I understand that there's a lot more to the online environment than what I have been able to show you in less than 30 minutes. I also want to let you know, please do not forget that you can email me at colonem@yosemite.edu if you have any questions. Each semester there will be 1-hour orientations, both face-to-face and online. And with that, again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time and being an online student. Here's to your success.